Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure to check them out on Twitter at LineStar App and at LineStar MLB to get all the great content they provide on the daily, and download the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Search LineStar. Be sitting right there for you. Do everything you need in the palm of your hands to build your winning DFS lineups for all sports, not just baseball. All the goodies in one spot. You can find myself on Twitter at BDentric and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how are we doing, man?
Good. I doing much better than the pitching was on today's slate, or just on today overall. Runs were very, very cheap. Pitching was crap. So let's put that one to bed and move on to July. Let's go.
Yeah. All I know is robot umpires. Robot umpires. There are some really, really, really bad things that took place there. Plus, we dealt with a lot of rain. Like, there's games that are delayed still. There's we didn't get any rainouts, but there's games that might get suspended still as we're waiting this one out late into a Wednesday evening. But like you said, July 1st, we have a 5-game early slate, 7-game main slate. As always, we'll break down your 7-game main slate here. But what I just wanted to say real quick before we go, I just want to go over the weather, because if we thought Wednesday was bad, buckle up, folks. And I'll go through the whole day. If you're playing the early slate, the Yankees game, Angels-Yankees, game time, 50 to 75% chance of rain. So you got that going for you. Toronto's got like 15 to 20, so that's doable. Kansas City, Boston, we're going 25, and it just goes up as the day goes on. So you got that one going for you. Twins and White Sox looks clear. Rangers, A's looks clear. Marlins, Phillies, 70 to 80% chances of rain. That's fun. Now we get to the night slate. Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, 40 to 45% chances. It dwindles as the evening goes on, so maybe. We'll see. Dodgers, Nationals, 80 to 85% chances of rain.
Come on.
So that's fun. Astros, Indians, we're good there. Well, we're good. There's 10% chances, and it's Cleveland, so I'm not going to say we're good.
Right. We
should be good. Padres, Reds, 25% chances. Again, dwindles as the night goes on. Mets, Braves, 20 to 30% chances. Cardinals, Rockies in Coors Field, 30 to 35% chances. And it's there's a roof in Arizona, thank God. So
yeah. I mean, you physically couldn't play baseball in Arizona with the roof this time of year. So yeah. So just beware. If you don't want to stress out, take the night off, because it's going to be one of those. You're going to be watching weather as the day goes on, close to lock, and guys were sweating just the Boston-Kansas City game today, and it's going to be nasty. So buckle up. That's all I got to say on that one. But let's get into it, Boggs. 7-game main slate. We do have some good pitching, like you said. Pay up for pitching when we talked before the show. And it starts off with Milwaukee at Pittsburgh. Corbin Burnes, Will Crow, over under 7.5. Burnes is 92 on DK, 10-6 on FanDuel. Crow is 56 on DK, 61 on FanDuel. Probably not going to Will Crow, but Burnes got an extra day's rest. Gets the Pirates now. He's been a little iffy without the sticky, but are you buying in at 9,200? I think you kind of have to buy in. He's obviously not going to be my favorite because DeGrom is on this slate, but yeah, Burnes is pretty good, but he wasn't great against Milwaukee in his last start against them. 4 innings pitched, 3 earned, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. For him, that's not great. He's been much better than that. Will Crow actually was pretty good against Milwaukee in his last start. He went, this was on June 13th, 5 innings, 2 earned, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he's cheap. So he might be a decent option as a secondary guy. So just a thought. I'm not completely against him, but against Burnes, there's a little PVB, 4 for 8 for Brian Reynolds with a double, 4 for 12 for Adam Frazier. And then here has been hitting, and he's 3,200 on both. Jace Peterson's been hitting. He's 31 and 24. Willie Adames, Avisail Garcia, and Key Brian Hayes have also been hitting. So those are the bats I'm kind of interested in, but probably Burnes will be the most owned player here. So
yeah, Burnes is a strong play. If you want to fade him, obviously it's Reynolds, Frazier, show, as you mentioned. You can go there, but I like the Milwaukee bats here. Crow's best game out of his 4 starts has been against the Brewers, of course. His other games, he's 3 of his last 4 starts, he's given up at least 2 home runs in each game. So I'm going to roll with that, watching Milwaukee just do damage on Wednesday. I've been playing a lot of Willy Adames and Luis Urias. They're both affordable. They both had monster Wednesdays. Hopefully that can keep going. Pretty much most guys outside of Christian Yelich is affordable and good, and Christian Yelich isn't worth the price. So I like a little bit of like Adames Urias if you don't want to go all in. Those are the 2 I'd have circled. Los Angeles Dodgers at the Washington Nationals, an 80 to 85% chance of rain. Tony Gonsolin, Patrick Corbin, over under 9.5. This is a crying shame because the Dodgers versus Patrick Corbin is like, whew, mwah, chef's kiss. So what do you like in this one?
I mean, I nothing because of isn't this one you said 80% chance?
80 to 85%, yeah.
So I'm probably skipping it. If you want, look, Bellinger is actually cheap, 37 and 38, which is surprising to say the least. Justin Turner is 13 for 35 against Corbin, 4 doubles and 2 homers, 371 average. Barnes is 3 for 11 with 2 homers against him. Chris Taylor's 5 for 23 with a double, a triple, and a homer, which isn't a good average, but extra base hits. But I mean, I love Schwarber, but he's expensive. Trey Turner just hit for the cycle, but then left the game after sliding into third. So there's some decent options here, but I'm probably not going to mess too much with it if it's, well over 50% for rain. So pass.
Yeah, Turner and Soto both left with injuries at the end of that game. They were blowing them out. They both got hurt. So that was just glorious to hear. But if the game does play, like Schwarber, Josh Bell, you get some other cheapies there, but I love the Dodgers. Anytime you can pick up Patrick Corbin, sign me up. Like guys like Chris Taylor and Justin Turner and company. So we'll see. I'm with you. I don't think this game plays, especially it's game 1 of a 4-game series. They can easily say, nope, we're going to just play a doubleheader this weekend. That's no problem at all. So I wouldn't be shocked if this one we see kind of go to the wayside. San Diego at the Cincinnati Reds. Ryan Weathers gets called back up from AAA to face Luis Castillo over under 9.5. This is one that rains early but dwindles off. They try to play through rain on Wednesday. It's getaway day. They need to get this game in because I doubt San Diego comes back to Cincinnati at all this year. So you got Weathers is cheap. Castillo's 9K on DK, 8K on FanDuel. He's been better of late, but do you trust him against the juggernaut known as the Padres?
Yeah, I do. 4 out of his last 5 have been quality, like you said. And against San Diego on the 15th of June, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. So like him here, finally another pitcher we can count on. Weathers I just don't trust to go deep into games, but there is some good PVB data against Castillo, specifically for Eric Hosmer, who's not crazy expensive, 43 and 27. He's 8 for 13. That's a 615 average with a bomb against him. 5 for 13 for Will Myers with a triple and a bomb. That's a 385 average. And then, some of these guys have been hitting. Your boy Cronenworth has been hitting. Pham, Machado, Grisham in a grand slam on Monday, or what's today? Wednesday. Losing track of days, Bob. Tatis obviously in play. Castellanos in Jonathan India as well. So I like Castillo a little bit, but I get it if you want to, if you want to stack against him because he hasn't been good. But I'm trusting him to turn around a little bit right now.
Yeah, in the month of June, he made 5 starts, only up 6 runs, 1.71 ERA. Almost a 26% K rate. The hard contact and the barrels were down. He had almost a 14% swinging strike rate. So he was much more to Luis Castillo of old. And most importantly, fastball velocity was much, much higher. So if you want to go Luis Castillo, I get it. I'm 100% there. I think it's a good GPP play on a really crazy slate. Like if they start knocking games off by rain and becomes a smaller and smaller slate, you got to get really different. And playing a guy like Luis Castillo will get there for you. But I agree with Bogman also. If you want to play the Padres, like they're in fuego right now. So have your fun with that. But I do like some Luis Castillo if you're making a few tournament lineups for sure. And play your Reds against Ryan Weathers. That's pretty much a given on that one. Stack them up for sure in Great American Small Park. Houston at Cleveland, assuming this game gets in, which it better get in, I swear to God. Framber Valdez versus JC Mejia. Mejia's, we talked about him 2 nights in a row now. He's back. Over under 8.5 on this one. Framber's 98 on DK, 10-2 on FanDuel. He's probably my favorite pitcher on the slate.
Valdez, Mejia, I was wanting to pitch him, but I'm not going to do it against Houston.
No, it was better against Detroit.
Yeah, much better against Detroit. So not going to do it, and that's why he's so cheap, 49 and 59. They're probably not going to go deep either. But like you said, Framber, all 5 starts in June have been quality. Love him here against Cleveland. And then just on the other side, stack up bats. Straw, still 3,000, still hitting. Jordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel, and Kyle Tucker. I'm good with any Astros bats that you want.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that Houston just played a 3-game series against Baltimore, and they pretty much got shut down by Baltimore. It's bananas. So you're just waiting for the eruption to take place at any moment with this offense. And for Mejia's sake, I'm sorry. Like, just it's coming, and it's going to come hard. So Framber, great play. Stack up your Astros, as you said. I wouldn't be shocked if we see like Jordan and Tucker and these guys just go on a monster evening in Cleveland. It's really good for left-handed bats as well. New York Mets at the Atlanta Braves. Here is probably your best pitcher of the night. It's Jacob deGrom versus Ian Anderson.
Bob, come on.
You want to guess the over-under on this game?
It is 7.
6.
I mean, you said probably. I mean, remember when he went 3 innings and struck out 8 the other day? I mean, the guy's just insane. But he's going to be high owned because it's a 7-game slate, and there's not a ton of other great options. So it's kind of at your risk. I don't mind Anderson either. Against the Mets this year, he's 9 1/3 innings, 4 earned, 11 strikeouts. So not a bad option either, specifically at his price at 71 and 84. But there's PVB data on both sides. I mean, obviously, there's not a ton of hitters that get DeGrom. Acuna is one of those guys, 8 of 27 with a double. That's a 296 average. And then, for Freddie Freeman, he's had 60 at-bats against him. Is hitting 250, which is, you got to say, against DeGrom, that's a success. 2 doubles and 3 homers in his 15 hits against him. And then on the other side, McCann, 3 for 5 against Anderson with a double and a homer, 2 for 7 for Dom Smith. And then, Lindor has been starting to hit. Luis Guillermo, I don't know how to say his name. Pete Alonso also doing pretty well. Guillermo Heredia hitting well. Austin Riley, but I have a hard time taking any Braves bats against DeGrom.
Yeah, no, DeGrom's the play. There's no sugarcoating that at all. He's a phenomenal play. I like Anderson as well, as you mentioned. The one caveat I will say is the way I mentioned Luis Castillo's in play on a short slate. I think the Atlanta Braves, maybe not a full stack, but like a Acuna, Albies, Freeman, it's expensive. But I think that's a great stack against a guy like DeGrom because 2 things. If he gets hit, they're going to go off and no one's going to roster them. Secondly, if he goes 4 or 5 innings, like he's done more often than not lately, that's a lot of Mets bullpen.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just little things like that on a weird slate. Like DeGrom could still pay off in 4 or 5 innings. We talked about that. At the same time, it's a lot of Mets bullpen, and no one's going to roster Atlanta. Small slate, you got to get really different if you want to be. It's like I told someone today: if you want to win the big tournament, you got to take those risk-reward plays. Like Ohtani's a risk-reward play. He got shelled today. How many times has he got his 25+ points and he leads you to money? That's the right. Risk-reward to tournament. Not saying go all in on Atlanta, but having a couple pieces of that pie. Albies had 5 hits and 2 home runs on Wednesday. One of them was a grand slam off a position player, so good thing Tony La Russa doesn't manage the Braves. But it still worked out pretty well. St. Louis, Colorado Rockies, Coors Field special on this one. We have Adam Wainwright, Antonio Sensatella over under 11.5. Arenado returns to Coors Field. Any interest in Adam Wainwright at 84 or 78?
Yeah, I have a little bit. The dude has been good and he's cheap, 84 and 78. So if you're looking for a pivot, if you're looking for a weird risk reward because he has 5 quality starts in a row, I think I'm going to be in on him here. So, that's one of those weird ones on a short slate that I would do for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think on a short slate, you can definitely go to Adam Wainwright. We've seen this Rockies offense sputter at times. St. Louis has sputtered too, where they woke up a little bit thanks to the Diamondbacks. I think they might keep it going here. Goldie's been on fire, but I mentioned you got Arenado coming home too. So what bats do you like in this one?
I mean, there's some PVB data against Sensatella. Goldie's one of those guys, 5 of 17, 2 doubles and a bomb, 3 for 9 for DeYoung with a homer, 4 for 10 for Carpenter. And then, Arenado, Carlson, Sosa have all been hitting if you want Colorado bats. Blackman has been good against Wainwright in his career, 8 for 18 with 3 doubles, a triple, and a homer, 444 average. Chris Owings, 4 for 8 if he's in the lineup, hitting 500 against him. Trevor Story, Brandon Rogers, and Jonathan Daza have all been hitting as well. So I like Wainwright, but I get it if you don't want to mess with them. There are bats to be had in this game.
Just looking at these prices for Coors Field, there's so much value on this one. I can already foresee, maybe on FanDuel too, but at least on DraftKings, Jacob deGrom in almost a lot of lineups, and Coors Field. That's what's standing out like already. Yeah. It's just looking at these prices, it's ridiculous. The fact that you get like Dylan Carlson at 38 in Coors. You mentioned all the cheap Rockies, like Hampson's 35. He had a monster game on Wednesday. Dawes 32. Tapia is always cheap. You know, in reality, Goldie at 45 in Coors Field is ridiculous. So you're going to get a ton of Coors Field in this one with Jacob deGrom. That's how a lot of lineups are going to start. So if you want to be different, that's the way to get things going. San Francisco Giants, Arizona Diamondbacks wind out this one. Johnny Cueto, Merrill Kelly, over under 9 on this one. Cueto 73 on DK, 89 on FanDuel. Kelly 63 and 82. And Boggs, I kind of like Cueto at least on DK as an SP2 on this one.
So this is what I wrote on my note was Cueto's been better recently. Talk me into it, Bubba. That's what I wrote on the sheet. So I knew you were going to be in on him because, you know, you're a homer when it comes to your team, specifically against my team because my team is bad. Kelly, 2 quality starts in a row. Yeah. Kelly, 2 quality starts in a row, and he has 1 good start and 1 bad start against San Francisco, but the more recent one was the bad one. So I think I'm just going to take bats here, but talk me into Cueto.
The thing with Cueto that's very, very appealing is, sure, he gives up some hits once in a while, but more often than not, he limits the damage and he goes 5-6 innings. Like he'll get hit early in the game. He thinks all's for lost, and he finds a way to go 5 or 6, rack up like 5 or 6 Ks, and get the job done on this goofy slate at $7,300 as an SP2 against a bad Arizona Diamondbacks offense. I think he's definitely in play, especially if you want to go with deGrom and maybe get some expensive bats outside of Coors Field. I think that's an option. So yeah, I like some Cueto as an SP2, and I hope that sold it for you.
Yeah, I mean, fine. I think I'm gonna stick to bats, but you know, Rojas 2 for 5 with the double. Eduardo Escobar, who's back in the lineup since not getting traded when everybody thought he was getting traded. 4 for 12 against Cueto with a homer. 3 for 7 for Reddick against Cueto. Posey is real good against Merrill Kelly. 5 for 14, 2 doubles and a homer. And then your guys have been hitting. Duggar, Lamonte Wade, Wilmer Flores. Walker has been real good for the D-backs, and he's cheap at 36 and 28. So I think I'll stick to bats.
And don't forget the big cleanup hitter, Mr. Brandon Crawford. So, yeah, the Giants is a great stack once again tonight. I'll go right back to that. Well, not the homer in me. It's just called smart baseball. So I will go back to the Giants stack here. I think it's a great way to pivot off of Coors Field and have some fun with your late night hammer, because a couple things to consider. I mentioned all the bad weather. We know this game's going to play, folks.
Yes.
No questions asked.
And so I'll say it's half homer, half stack against the D-backs. I mean, you know,
yes.
So
it's like it's almost like a philosophy.
Smart,
yeah.
Right.
It's a philosophy almost every day. Like if you make enough lineups, you're gonna have some stacks against the D-backs. It's just how it goes.
Yep.
But,
and
I'm with you there. Yeah, you should. All right, recapping things real quick before we get to the favorite part of the show for everybody. Who is your top pitcher not named Jacob deGrom tonight?
Not named Jacob deGrom?
Yeah, I got to think a little bit.
I'll go with Castillo. I just have a good feeling about Castillo.
I like that. Well, my season-long teams are happy because he's been rebounding, so keep that train going, if that's true. I'm going to go Framber, big Framber guy. I love Framber Valdez, and I love him in that match versus Cleveland. So I'll go back to that well. What stacks are you looking at tonight?
I mean, you can stack up most of these teams tonight outside of, you know, I don't want anything to do with LA and Washington because I don't think that gets played. But, I mean, if you want to stack, you know, Reds against San Diego, I would do that. Astros against Mejia is probably a pretty solid one, too. You know, St. Louis against Senzatella and the Giants against Kelly. I think those are the stacks for today.
Yep, those are stacks I like a lot as well. Like Milwaukee be the next one. It's a bad ballpark to hit in, so that's why they're not one of my favorites. But small slates, you can throw them in the mix if you so choose. But I'm with you. San Diego or Cincinnati, Houston, St. Louis, Giants, rock and roll on those ones, and rock and roll your way over to the iTunes and give us a little 5-star rate and review. Would much appreciate it. That'd be pretty cool. Or check us out on the LineStar YouTube channel. That's fun as well. You can subscribe, give the thumbs up, watch us and make fun of us. I don't care. As long as you're watching us and give the thumbs up. Do those little things. Right. It's awesome. So come join us there, and then make sure you follow LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app, and then their MLB account at LineStar MLB, because they tweet out all kinds of great information. Like, my phone's on alerts, and sometimes I wonder why, because there's so much stuff coming out there. But it gives me my home run calls every time, so that's great. And you want to get the home run calls of the day, because if you get them and you retweet them, 3 lucky people will get matched up with Bogman, myself, and Ryan Humphreys for a chance to win some free swag. They tweeted out before Wednesday, and obviously I don't think there's been one on Wednesday as of now. There was 22 days they've ran the promotion, because it's only Monday through Fridays. There have been 23 people that have won swag. That's pretty good stuff there, Boggs. Good numbers for sure. I mean, I couldn't take my boy Schwarber today, so I didn't get one. And he didn't get one either, so he's saving it for you. Yeah, I mean, there's still a little time in this Baltimore-Houston game as we're recording, but probably not going to get it. So yeah, but let's kick off July now. For Thursday, July 1st, Bogman, who's your home run call of the day? Give me Nolan Arenado going home to Colorado against Senzatella. Give me Arenado to go yard tonight. That's a good one. That's a very, very good one. I'm going to go with Brandon Crawford taking Merrill Kelly deep in the desert. Keeps his all-star campaign rolling strong. So it'll be a fun one. We got 2 kind of later evening ones. You have Arenado. Sorry, I had something in my throat. I figured you'd take Goldschmidt, but you didn't. So you got Arenado. I got Brandon Crawford. We'll see you, Ryan Humphreys. Maybe Ryan Humphreys will take Goldschmidt. We'll leave it for him. Go. But there's going to be a lot of offense. The pitching's better on Thursday, but a lot of offense. So have fun with that one. Remember, check Bogman out on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BDentric. Big Friday slate coming your way. But for now, good luck on your Thursday. Catch you guys tomorrow. See ya.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to linestarapp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.